I'm recording audio now. Just tell me when you want me to start the intro music.
Just cause, in case it helps. Alright, I think we're ready.
Alright, everyone good? Alright, shut up. I'm gonna start the... And started.
He broke his ankles. Now he's got an entourage. He is Houdini. Big Keith Trailer. Look at him rumble. 40, 50. Watch out. The earth is shaking. He's at the 30.
Tackle your losses with another episode of the Tackle for Loss podcast, the premium New Zealand NFL gambling podcast.
Fires into the end zone. Touchdown!
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Tackle for Loss podcast. Tackle your losses with the Tackle for Loss podcast. It's your host with the most killer Keemstar, Creed Donahue. And to my left... Sorry.
Internet intro.
It's just always in my house. You'll never forget the Keemstar intro. And to my left, you have amateur analyst Kiefer Donahue.
Not Keemstar.
Not Keemstar.
I'm more of a Joji. Sorry, a filthy Frank for doing an internet intro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And to my right, Grayson Orlock.
I'm Tobuscus because I got cancelled for touching people.
What the fuck?
A lot of that going on in professional sport this week.
Hey, I tell you what, NBA player has been moving mad.
Yeah. All right, welcome back. Another episode, week 12. It's just finished.
Oh, I can turn the music down now. The music was still
Producer
playing the whole
Harry.
time.
Producer Hey.
I-
Behind the glass.
I was just waiting for him to introduce me, but he didn't, so...
Yeah, nah, you can fuck off. So what do we think about last week, boys? How was it? What are we thinking? Any good games?
Mixed bag.
Yeah.
Mixed bag. Bit of a lolly scramble of games. Primetime sucked again.
Yeah.
Well, there's a
it
problem.
Yeah, there's a
it needs
massive
to be
problem.
addressed
Yeah.
ASAP.
What was the Thursday night football?
there were three games. It was
games.
It was the Seahawks
To be
Niners.
fair, I did enjoy the 3 games thing. That was quite nice.
Oh, 3 games was dope, but Seahawks Niners ended up being not as entertaining as people thought it would.
Yeah.
With an absolute blowout. What was the next one after that?
No, that was the last one.
That was
It
the
started
last
with
one of the
Packers
day.
Lions.
Packers,
Lions.
Lions,
Oh,
then Commanders,
yeah.
Cowboys,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
sorry.
it was Niners.
I mean, Commanders
Yeah.
Cowboys was absolute blowout. Niners
Yeah.
was blowout, and then
Lions Packers was a bit of a
Lions
blowout too.
Packers was interesting.
Yeah.
Not the way I thought it
would
would have gone, to be honest.
And
I mean,
of
that's-
course, we had the Vikings Bears on the other end,
Oh, that was
which
shit.
was one of the
What was
worst
Sunday
games.
night?
Ravens Chargers.
It was Ravens Chargers.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
not that great again.
Not that
No,
great.
not that good. Not that good.
Yeah. So, yeah, you said they need to address it. They almost need to implement a feature, right? Where a game could potentially be in that bracketed slot.
Yeah,
and then be
what would you call that?
I'm thinking moved.
Moved?
Yeah, it doesn't quite have the ring to it, does it?
Can't move a game.
Shifted?
Yeah, shift. That's pretty good.
Shifted's pretty good.
Jumped out of the slot,
yeah.
maybe?
Switcherooed.
Oh,
Switcheroo.
switcheroo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Roger Goodall stands up in his press conference and just says, look, the games aren't very good this week at prime time. We're going to do the old switcheroo for
Yeah,
prime time.
yeah.
And then he changes it.
That's it. I think
that's it.
switcheroo.
It might happen more if he calls it that, to be
Yeah.
honest.
I might
so.
draft an email while we're doing this and just
Big
send
Tom.
it to
Big Rog,
switcheroo.
get onto
Oh,
it.
Rog, Big Rog.
Rog?
Bigger.
Big Rog.
Let's talk about our bets last week. The Thursday night football, we had to bet on all 3.
Yeah.
And in different combinations, we all hit 2 out of the 3.
Okay.
So we all
Me
went.
included.
No, Harry. I think you hit 1. You hit 1. So Harry's Thursday night football total
I shouldn't have said anything.
has gone to 2 and 5. He's now 2 and 5 on
shouldn't have
Thursday
said
nights.
anything.
Wow.
Kiefer, yours is at 5 and 4.
Okay. I'll take
And
it.
Grayson's is 8 and 4.
I'll take it.
And then mine's 10 and 3.
8-4,
Wow.
everybody drink.
Nah, classic.
And then
No one's
last
going to
week's
fucking drink.
I'll
All right,
drink for it.
Jesus.
If it was mine, it was my record, so I'll drink for it.
last week's locks, Grayson placed 5. You went 3 and 1 with 1 push. I went 4 and 3 with 1 push. Kiefer went 3 and 3 with a push. What was the one that pushed?
I don't know.
It was by 3 points, I think.
Hit a stat, man.
The Eagles.
It was the
they-
Eagle. Yeah. That's right.
Tush
It was
push,
the 3-point game. The Eagles and which.
Oh, it was actually the Eagle. I wasn't. I was just making a tush push joke.
Yeah, it was.
Nice.
Holy
Nice.
shit.
It was. It was the Eagles that tush pushed the 3 points.
There we go.
So that brings our totals to a whopping. I'm 40 and 40
Whoa.
with 3 pushes. Kiefer is kind of funny. Kiefer's 33 and 31 with 3 pushes, and Grayson, who hasn't missed any of the, Grayson who missed one week, yet Kiefer missed like 4. Grayson's at 31 and 25. So
Hey, I'm your regular conservative. I'll be here and I'll make sure my percentages are high. I'll be the old Mike Tomlin of the podcast if I have to. I swear to God, it's staying above 500 at all costs.
yeah, here's the Mike Tomlin. It might start taking 1 luck a week, to be honest. Just
Hey, the Steelers are back, man. Steelers are back.
That's right. Yeah.
maybe, probably not.
First game over 400
Definitely.
yards.
Yeah.
All right, well that's that done. Any bets anyone had that they took and want to talk about?
Had a terrible week in betting.
I was 1 game off winning $170 on just a big multi.
What was the game you lost?
Jags beating the Texans. I had the Texans just head to head.
Oh, idiot.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put it in. I looked at the amount and the bet was going to pay back. I was like, nah, I can add 1 more game in. And then I hit the Texans because I thought CJ Stroud was going to come through, but
Harry is that just 1 more game.
He is that guy.
He's that
yeah.
guy. Yeah.
I am. I am.
The Vikings fucked me. I hate the Vikings.
I won on the Vikings. Fuck you.
Yeah, I could have had 5 into like a nice $60 4-legger, and then the Vikings couldn't cover the spread. So
Yeah,
Fuck 'em.
I put a couple of silly bets on the Vikings, fully knowing they were, well, not even the Vikings, just the game in general, fully knowing they were silly, but they were a fan of football bets. It was all big number stuff, but not ridiculous. You know, it was still like the minimum throwing yards, the minimum rushing yards, and nothing. Just nothing. What a shitter of a game.
it was a
Phil,
dead game.
talk to your team.
Yeah, I heard an interesting concept when it comes to bookies and multis and that sort of stuff. And
Parlays, if you will.
parlays, if you will. And here's
Hackers,
how it
some
went.
would say.
Is that doing the maths, right? So if you create a multi where you put in head-to-head bets, right?
Yep.
It's very easy to calculate because they give you the numbers. Every bookie has the same odds and stuff like that, right? So they give you the numbers. So when they give you your grand total of what like you put in 5 games and it might be paying 35 to 1, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy for the player to go back and look at that multi they've just built and gone calculate the odds if they wanted to and being like, yeah, that's what it should be paying, right? 35 to 1 with those odds I put in. The problem is they know that they can get away with pulling the wool over your eyes, to speak, when it comes to doing multis on same game, like player prop, X amount of yards, X amount of touchdowns, because there is no like real number when you're building same game multis of what each one's worth. You just throw them in and it kind of tallies up your total as you go.
Yeah.
The thing is, you can't, it'll take a fucking PhD in maths for you to be able to go through and calculate realistically what your multi that you've built is worth.
Yeah,
So the thing
yeah.
is, no one actually fucking can, really. So the thing is, the odds you're getting in these same game multis is what the bookies want, which is way out of proportion than what it should be.
Sure.
And you're actually losing, even if you win one, you're probably actually not winning as much as all those things kind of combined should be paying.
Right, okay.
Which
I
is
get
an
you.
interesting...
Yeah. I did win I had a multi on the New York Jets and Dolphins game. And then also in that game, I had Dolphins to score all 4 quarters, which they did too. So
Very nice.
They were the only bets that I won this week.
I don't really place too many. I've diversified more. When people talk about stocks, right?
Yep.
They talk about...
This is going to be good.
Usually they start talking about stocks
We've
and I
started
zone
off
out.
with a tinfoil hat rant about same game multi odds, and now we're going to diversifying
Yeah,
stocks.
yeah.
They talk about diversifying your portfolio. I've got X amount in crypto,
The biggest words I've ever heard him say.
X amount
Yeah.
of fucking
Finance bros coming out.
index funds and all this sort of stuff, right?
Got the back
It's just the start of the zone out.
See me? I diversify my gambling portfolio.
Of course.
So at the moment I'm into sports betting and I'm dabbling into poker as well now.
Ah.
So I've diversified my portfolio and I've been on.
I don't think you could hear that through the microphone.
I mean, dabbling in poker. I'm doing pretty well on that, to be honest.
I hope you can hear that through the microphones.
Holy
That's
fucking
insane.
It'll make it
Jesus.
way more
I don't know.
better for audio listeners.
It's just
Just
The-
people blasting
ridiculous.
music.
the local subwoofer out the back of
Yeah.
a shitbox car.
Yeah. So that's that's
Yeah.
what I've been doing.
I kind of feel like wait until he stops before we launch into like the games. I don't do
Oh, it
it.
doesn't really matter.
I honestly don't.
You
think
can't
can
hear
it.
him? Okay.
Nah.
Well, let's start talking about some games.
Yeah.
It's Thursday night football.
Thursday night football.
It's the Cowboys at home -9 against the Seahawks +9 over under of 46.5.
Yeah, Seahawks I'm a little bit disappointed with. Not really, though, because I kind of knew this was coming. Like
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I don't really.
Did you think the fall off would be this hard though?
Yes, because
Okay.
here's what they played the 49ers, right? And here's what I said it a couple of weeks ago. There is a very clear difference between like Super Bowl contenders this year. There may be like 5 of them, maybe, and then like good teams that can make playoffs.
Yeah.
Seahawks, good team that can make playoffs. However, there's a giant gap which just got shown between them and a Super Bowl team like the 49ers.
Sure, okay, I'm
and
with
this
you.
happens for every team. Like, there's a bunch of teams in that same kind of bracket as the Seahawks that, yeah, they're good and they can make playoffs, but realistically, they have no chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's kind of just how it is going. I think if you were building a tier list from like S to fucking F, right? You'd have guys like 49ers, Eagles, maybe even Cowboys if you wanted to, like Chiefs if you wanted to. Some big dogs up there in the S tier, A tier.
Yeah.
Then you wouldn't put any other team until like B tier. Because realistically...
That's usually how it goes, A, S, A, B.
Okay, sorry. I'll
Drop it down to
Can you not
C.
just fucking see what I'm saying? You just gotta
I just wanted to, make it clear for
Well,
the
I was going to say put
listeners.
them on S tier, but obviously then you would have said, well, they're not all S tier.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Well, you would have put something apart, wouldn't you?
No, not really. Just make your point.
Chris come with energy
Oh,
today.
no, I made my point.
That there's a
And you
massive
just
gap.
poo-hooed it.
There is a massive gap.
There's a massive gap.
And you put the Giants in F tier.
Yeah, along with
Is
the
there a
Patriots.
tier below that? Because it should be
That's where
for the Giants and the
that's
Pats.
where the Panthers
Giants
go.
and the Pats, yeah.
We'll get to those games. Anyway, Cowboys, Seahawks. Seahawks B tier team. Cowboys A tier team.
Yeah, S tier, I think.
Well, if you look at who they've beaten, I don't know if you
Yeah,
put
it's
them
one of
S
those things.
tier.
They haven't really gone up against anyone with a strong
They have not
unbeaten record.
beaten anyone with a winning record.
Yeah.
Not just a strong record. They haven't beaten anyone with a winning record.
8-3 at the moment, but they're beating the Giants, the Jets, the Pats, the Chargers, the Rams, the Giants, the Panthers, the Commanders, which is not good.
Not a good run of teams.
I know it's not good, but then it's like, but they won 40-10.
Yeah,
So like,
they are-
yes,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
sure, they're not beating teams with winning records, but they are demolishing some
They
really
are,
bad
yeah.
teams.
Every time they've played at home, it's been a blowout victory.
They haven't lost at home.
So-
They have not lost.
Yeah, and then when they've also been at home, it hasn't just been like a victory; it's been like a blowout victory. So it could go the same way this time against the Seahawks.
And that's the thing as
So
well.
is the 9 enough?
even when they were favorites, there hasn't been a single game that the only game they have not covered the spread is the game they lost. Every other game, no matter how much they were favorites by, they've won by. Like they are covering the spread in every single game they win. Are they going to win this game? Probably. They're at home. I mean, it's like Cowboys home game.
I'm
Right
just
over
looking
there.
at- yeah, I'm just looking at their schedule. I want to know who that. So they're playing the Eagles.
They still have to play the Eagles twice.
Yeah, so they're playing
Yeah.
Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, Lions, Commanders. So it gets a little tougher from here.
Yeah, but at this point you're 8-3. Even if you lose 3 more games, you're still into playoffs.
oh
and
yeah, absolutely. I
Then it
was
doesn't
just-
really matter.
I was
Like,
just
I think
curious. Yeah, against the Eagles would be good.
Yeah,
They
I mean,
lost them last time.
Thursday night football. What is it? Minus 9.
9.
I'm going to take the Cowboys -9 here. I just think the Seahawks, they're just not good enough right now. And Geno's just not the guy. They like I said last week or week before, whatever it was, they do need to move on from him. He can do his job well. Like he's fine, but he's not a guy that's going to bring the most out of the guys around him is the difficult part,
Sure. I'm going to go -9 Cowboys as well. I think they're going to win.
Had a quick look at the under over 46.5. I don't think. Oh, it's hard because they've consistently put up blowout victories at home. So I think it's probably almost safer to take the -9 than the over, just in case they put up points but not enough to cover that over. So I'm going to also go Cowboys -9.
Yeah, I'm tallying it. I'm taking the Cowboys for my one lock of the week.
Well, let's take Cowboys -9. Very nice.
It might actually be a good primetime game too.
It might be it'll be entertaining. I
so.
think.
Yeah,
I think it will be.
so.
I feel like the Seahawks are one of those teams that can easily play up to someone like the Cowboys and make it a very entertaining game.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, looking at the next game, we've got Titans +1.5 at home against the Colts -1.5. Over under 42.5. It's actually it's a real close margin they've got here, boys.
It is, and I don't really understand. I guess I do understand why, But in my opinion, I think the Colts are a way better team than
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
Titans right now.
Absolutely.
Last game, the Titans converted 2 out of 11 third downs against the Panthers. They beat the Panthers 17-10. It is beating the Panthers. That's not an achievement. That's not a... Beating the Panthers 17-10 might as well not be a win at this point.
Oh yeah, and the other thing is
It's a gimme.
It's a gimme.
Old Will Levis got outperformed by Bryce Young.
Yeah, which is saying something.
Set wise, he got outperformed.
I'm just gonna nut up and shut up. I'm gonna lock the Colts here, -1.5.
I'm locking the Colts -1.5.
I'm locking the Colts -1.
Oh damn! Woo! We're all nutting up and shutting up.
Also,
Well,
like,
I'm all-
Also,
we're
JT's
none.
out though.
well, maybe they haven't confirmed it yet.
No, I believe it is confirmed. It's confirmed he's gone for surgery. He's out 2 weeks.
Oh,
I
really?
don't think that would worry me too much though.
Yeah, like they did fine when Zach Moss was in it. There wasn't a...
He was still putting up.
Yeah, he was
fucking
still putting up big
decent
numbers.
ground
Harry,
game.
can you just double check that that's correct?
I can.
And Derrick Henry did all right against the Panthers, but the Panthers have one of the worst run defenses in the league. So, like, for a guy that's struggling and has a good week, like, we know Derrick Henry can do well.
Yeah,
it's not a question
absolutely.
of it.
Yeah.
So, but just putting him against a run defense that's really weak, yeah, he's going to look better than what he's looked the rest of the season. So I'm not really going to bank on them being that good in the run game right now because they haven't been. It was
No.
just one game.
And the Colts are actually looking like an effective team.
100%.
They're going to be awesome when Richardson comes back. But at the moment, they're doing the work and they're getting the wins. So
The other thing is the Colts ran the ball well against the Bucks, who have a fantastic run defense.
yeah.
Well, that's exactly right. Yeah, Bucks have a great run defense.
He is getting thumb surgery.
Oh, yeah, all right. Zach
is
Moss
that.
is in.
Yeah, no, it's not like I need him for
Not
my
mad about
fantasy
that,
or
though.
anything.
Not mad about that at
I
all.
already dropped Zach Moss from my fantasy. So.
So pick him up.
Oh, sorry, you guys carry on 1 second.
I might have a higher waiver pick.
I think I have the highest waiver pick out of us.
We'll jump onto the next game. I'll
G1.
keep sorts out his waiver picks on something that's real
Oh, I
important.
know you lost.
I lost to Kiva.
No, you'll be the best.
We're gonna go Jets at home +3 against the Falcons -3. This game sucks. Let's get through it.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Over-under
real. I
34.
really don't give a shit. The Jets, by putting in Boyle, downgraded. I don't care what, why at this
Did
point
you
in the...
see his stat line coming into the NFL?
I
Yeah,
have
so
the,
we talked about it
Keith,
last
just
week.
to,
It's nuts.
so you
It's
don't have to
horrible.
waste time. I have the number 1 pick in the waivers.
Are you taking him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Thanks, bro.
You, man, don't worry about it.
one thing I don't understand is when you I guess they're still trying to make playoffs, but like your team is horrible. Why even fucking bother
I'm
putting
so
in Tim Boyle?
confused.
Why
I'm
even
so
bother?
fucking confused.
I
watched-
I said this to Keith while we were watching the Jets Dolphins game. It might be to try find out who their backup's going to be for next year.
Zach Wilson will be the backup for next year.
Well, if Tim Boyle or the other whoever the other guy is, Trevor Simeon or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck his name is, outperforms what Zach Wilson can
No,
do,
they-
then
even-
he'll be the backup.
even if they outperform him, Zach Wilson will still be the backup. I don't
It's
think
just a way. Like they'd have to obviously perform way better than what
No,
they should.
because,
but
because at that
I still
point,
think
at
they
that
could.
point, they want their backup to be someone they can build on. They're not going to
want
build
him
on
to
Tim
sit
Boyle.
behind
They're not
Rodgers.
going to build on Simeon.
That's a good point.
They
That is a good
believe
point.
that Zach Wilson can get there. That he's just not there yet. So it's like even if they do well, I think they'll keep whoever that is on their third string as their third string. But it'll go Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson, just to watch. I still think.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, that does make sense.
I
too.
just,
just gonna
once
keep
again, I
Rodgers
just
in a
don't,
mentor role
I
and
just
build
don't
up.
get it.
Yeah.
I would just at this point maybe they're just doing it for team morale. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
losing,
was-
losing. Zach Wilson's doing shit.
Yeah.
So they get rid of him to just stop arguments, stop the team chatter. Maybe
Team,
that's what
team
it is.
morale and fan appeasement.
Yeah.
Like it looks like they're doing something, but they're not really doing anything. Robert Saleh can't answer any questions in a press conference. I don't think, and there's a conspiracy going round.
Yeah.
Put that tinfoil hat on, that he doesn't really have control of this team anymore.
What do you mean? Like the owners and management do? Or?
Owners, management, and Aaron Rodgers do. And he just calls the defense.
No, I don't think so because it came out today that the GM? I think the GM for the Jets, the only reason that he has not been fired yet is because Aaron Rodgers will be back next year. If Aaron Rodgers wasn't back next year, apparently the GM would be gone. So I don't think the GM's calling shit right now because
Right,
they don't
okay.
like him because
Yeah.
he's like from what he's done for this team, he's fucked. He's almost out. So
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, someone's got to pay the price for the Zach Wilson pick, right?
Which I do think will be
there's gonna be a head that
the
rolls 'cause of
GM.
that.
I think if he makes up for it by Aaron Rodgers balling out. I was going to say interesting about this team as well is that they are actually relatively dog shit against the run.
I have a take on them.
Yeah,
They're relatively dog shit.
I don't think I did it either.
and we're back, and we're back, and we're back, and we're black.
So the camera may have cut off, but your take was a dog shit on the run defense, and I said they're just dog shit.
Yeah, which interestingly,
Yeah.
fuck.
Oh, wait, you're thinking of... Well, should we
I'm
talk
thinking,
about the Falcons?
I'm thinking of locking the Falcons here. They just beat the Saints 24-15.
Bijan's
Obviously,
dangerous.
Ritter is still fucking dog shit. We know that. Nothing's
Yeah.
changed from when he played last.
No.
We're still seeing it. Everyone on the run game, though, fucking 5.4 yards a carry per player that was running. They could dominate the Jets here with Bijan. They're a top 5 team in rush yards per game.
It's like...
And that was against the Saints, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's overnight they kind of just were like, oh, shit, we've got Bijan Robinson on the roster. Let's use him again.
You know,
it's
I-
like
I-
super strange.
Yeah, I'll throw a goofy one out there. I'm locking this. I'm
Oh,
locking the
shit, a
Falcons.
goofy one.
I'm locking the Falcons
You're feeling goofy today.
because I found out. I think everyone realized a little bit in sports betting, the ones you think should hit, half the time they don't even hit.
That's true.
Yeah.
And it's the
That's
ones
very
you don't.
true.
It's the ones you don't think about or don't consider. They're the ones that hit.
Tell you what, the
Yeah,
ones they
you know,
randomly took out of the
hey.
blue the last couple of weeks did hit.
Yeah, that was a good pep talk. I'll lock the Falcons.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't want to jump on your train. I'll figure out another one later.
I also watched the...
I need another random one down the line. I can't just be... Otherwise, it's just tailing at this point.
It's
It doesn't feel...
It's not just random.
It doesn't feel like
yeah.
spontaneous, and I love a bit of spontaneity in my life.
Hey, you got any Coolmans and Chinos over there?
I do not. I only have spearmint. Sorry.
Oh, Spearman's in a Sheena.
Do you want to...
you guys keep talking.
do you want a
I'll go
beery?
grab myself. Oh, you got beery ones.
Yeah, hold up.
Berry or cherry?
He said berry.
Cherry. I'll take a cherry.
Well, this sort of odds in a Chinos. We might as well look at the next game.
yeah.
So we got the Saints at home plus 4.5, and then the Lions come to visit for minus 4.5. Under over 45.5. The Lions got fucked by the moon.
Yes, and I want to say that it was all Jared Goff's fault, just like it was Jared Goff's fault
Oh.
the week beforehand too. That's 2 losses in a row that have been single-handedly Jared Goff's fault.
Hendon
Yeah.
Hooker's back training this week.
Who's that?
How many?
Their quarterback that they took in the draft, who was coming off a torn ACL
Yeah,
last year.
Oh man! Oh yes, the
Yeah.
Tennessee guy.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
absolutely,
He was going to go much higher in the draft, but because of that
Torn his
injury.
ACL. And the
see.
Lions
Kicked him
got him in
down.
the second or third.
Oh,
I
that's
think.
cool. That's cool.
Great name.
But I
Hendon
will
Hooker's a
say,
great
I will
name.
say though, it's interesting what the Lions did. So they lost 22-29. They had 3 fumbles in the first quarter that absolutely fucked them. They rallied in the second half, but they lost the entire game in the first quarter when they let the Packers put up 20 points. They lost 20-29 or 22-29. So the Packers scored 9 points in 3 quarters after scoring 20. That loss literally comes down to those 3 fumbles. If those fumbles do not happen, or even take away 1 of them or 2 of them, I think it's a different result completely.
I'm going to be a little bit bold here, not with my bet, but with my comment. I think, if we're using that tier chart again, right?
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah,
idea,
yeah.
I think that the Lions were a team that would maybe B, sniffing like they could get to.
No, I think they were definitely
They could
A.
get to
They
the
were
Super
definitely
Bowl.
A.
They
They were
could
8
get-
and
They were
2.
A
They
tier.
could get to.
They were A tier.
They could get to a conference final, right?
Yeah, sure.
Not anymore.
I disagree.
You reckon they could still pick it up? I
Like
just
I
think
said,
they're
Kiva,
too.
like I
They're
just
going to win
said,
their division for a start. So
Yeah,
they're
well,
like that much
yeah,
closer as is.
That's not hard.
I'm saying, but
no.
Kiva, look, like I was saying before, the 3 fumbles costed them. They allowed 9 points after that quarter. And then they put up 22 almost in 3 quarters. If you take away 2 of those fumbles,
Oh, I see
like
what you're
how
saying.
many weeks
Okay.
in a row are they going to have 3 fumbles? You would hope
Okay.
you'd hope 1 at max.
I've got
you know,
golf
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
starting
yeah.
lineup this week.
So I'm just saying, I think if you take away
Josh
all
Allen's
that
gonna
stuff,
buy.
this game would have been a 30-16 game to the Lions. I genuinely think so.
Okay.
And then you wouldn't
They
even
just-
blink twice. You'd think they're still the team they are.
It's
Well,
the
that's
normal-
the thing.
the
I think
norm, yeah.
I guess I'm just saying I'm blinking twice now. You know
Oh god, don't blink 3 times.
what happens if I blink 3 times?
You
Got
fumble.
fumbles again.
You fumble.
Do we talk about the Saints? Did I miss that?
No, we haven't yet.
I think the Saints defense is overrated. It is just falling off a cliff.
It's starting to appear so, isn't
Yeah,
it? They
yeah.
how do you let the fucking Falcons put up 24 on you?
Well, Jameis Winston dances at you on the sideline at halftime.
That was-
Really puts you
Oh,
off.
I love
my
that, man.
The intensity in there, man. But it is, I don't know.
You know, the fact that the Saints are also 29th in the league for scoring in red zone doesn't help at all. That fucks you as well.
Well, the other
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is
yeah.
their top 3 receivers were injured at the end of that game, so they didn't have any real threat close to the
Taysom Hill.
second half
He's
of the
a
game.
dog, isn't he?
He's
Right.
the
Taysom
threat.
Hill.
And he fumbled.
Taysom Hill is their offense.
And the ball got punched out of his arms.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
There's,
I
there's
didn't watch
issues
any
with
of their
ball safety.
games,
There's
so-
issues with at wide receiver. They don't have the depth.
Yeah.
The Saints aren't looking that great. I like the Lions here, -4.5. So I'm going to
Yeah.
look it.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, I'm going to lock the Lions -4.5 here too.
Nice.
What's the under over? 45? Nah, just take the Lions.
Just the Lions, I think.
I'm probably not going to lock it. I've locked them twice in a row, and they've fucked me. So
So, Kiva, it can't be a third, right? You're,
No, it
you're
definitely
blinking
can't
3
be a
times.
third.
Surely you're locking 3 times.
Third times is the charm.
they'd
James, the
say
lock.
third times is a charm. Okay, I'll lock it. Plus, I really
Rubber
like the
arm.
Lions.
Rubber.
Oh,
You got
yeah, I
peer
realised
pressured
that,
into
that
that one.
camera's got 3 of us on it now because it zoomed out.
You should probably reset it.
I'll zoom in.
Just zoom
Keep
in.
it running.
Yeah, just zoom in.
Yeah.
Sorry for the crotch
The old
shot.
cock shot.
What
Yeah.
a podcast, man. This might be the best one yet.
Just keep going till it's... Yeah, there you go. That should be fine.
Oh.
Lovely, lovely. Lovely jubbly.
This might be the best
That's
one
generally
yet.
for the OnlyFans viewers.
Oh, no, Grayson's too tall for it. Got to zoom
I'll
out.
sing, bro.
Oh,
No,
there
it's
we go.
all right.
Ah,
We're
there you
We're
go.
good.
Nice.
He'll sit in the crack, bro.
All right, next
I'll
game we
slip.
got the Texans at home -3.5 against the Broncos +3.5. Over under of 47.5.
This is an interesting one again. The Broncos are not a fucking shit team anymore, are they?
They look back. Are they
No.
back?
Sorry, side note. The Sixers and the Chinos are real spinning, aren't they?
Yeah.
Jesus,
Well,
after last week.
Not for me anymore. But
So the Broncos were 1-5 and have just gone on a 5-game streak to now be 6-5.
It's
Hottest-
unreal. Are
hottest
they,
team in the league.
yeah, they might like actually crack a playoff run.
Here's the little cool statistic for you. In my opinion, it is because the defense is showing up, right? In the past 5 games, the 5-game win streak they've been
Yeah.
on, their defense has allowed 80 points combined, right?
Yep.
In 5 games before that streak,
Yep.
they allowed 130.
Right.
That is not even including the Dolphins game. I didn't even include that one.
Oh, okay.
Because
well,
I thought that would blow-
that's
that would blow
fair.
out
Yeah, that's
proportion.
it changes.
But
the
if you
metric
include, if you
entirely.
swap out one of those games for the Dolphins game, and even change that Dolphins result to 40 instead of the 70,
Yeah.
then it's 150 in the past 5 games. Like,
Yeah.
their defense has just made a massive upgrade.
It's still
seemingly
mad
out of nowhere.
they let up 70 points in one
Also,
game.
that touchdown to who was their tight end? Was it Sample? He, like with the knee just within the end zone was insane.
No,
Sample-
Sample plays for the Bengals.
See, some of
Or
the
wasn't that
Bengals-
what? No,
Troutman.
Troutman. Sorry,
Troutman.
Man.
But that was an insane touchdown.
Yeah. They allowed 1 sack against the Browns, who have Myles Garrett rushing from one side.
And they also injured him. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
well
beat
done.
the Browns 29-12. That is not, obviously the Browns don't have
An offense.
an offense at the moment.
No.
But still, though,
And they killed
but to put
fucking
up 29
DTR
on
too.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To put up 29 on the Browns is still impressive.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Texans, they lost to the Jags at home, 21-24. Solid game. Stroud's still him, though. 304 yards, 2 touchdowns. But, yeah, run game struggles, and the defense also is struggling at the moment.
There's
as
big.
well.
There's going to be a big offense of the Texans v the defense of the Broncos game. I think
Pretty
that's
much,
really
Yeah.
what it's going to come down
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, this is such an interesting one. I don't like it. I kind of, and
It's
for that
scary.
reason that I don't like it, I'm locking Broncos +3.5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Reverse
he's brought
psychology.
spontaneity into the game. I'm falling on the screen. Hold on, we're back.
Just for old Sluso.
Oh, fair, yeah.
That's fair.
I'll lock that.
Sluice on the music.
The man-
Once again, this is another one where you don't really think about it too much. You think, oh, it's too close, or I don't know. If you look at it, the Broncos, they have a good chance there, and you're giving them +3.5. I'll take it.
Broncos going to bonko the Texans.
Well,
They
I was
Cree's locked every game so far.
Wow.
I'm on a roll,
He's
baby.
on a tear.
I was listening to a podcast today about how, to be honest, if you look at Russell Wilson's stats, they're not amazing.
No.
But it's the combination that Sean Payton's using him how he should be used.
Yeah.
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 And it's working. You got to play to what your players can do, and the play calls are working out in their favor. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I do like the Broncos, but I don't trust this game enough with the way the Texans have been playing on offense. So I'm not going to touch
I
it.
think if their Broncos O-line was a lot stronger, because they're pretty bad at the moment. If
Yeah,
their Broncos
but for us,
O-line
every
was
time.
way stronger, then I think this team would be dominating on offense. I really do.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
pretty much every play, he has to scramble and throw on the throw on the run a little
Yeah.
bit, which obviously you're never gonna like. It's gonna be tough
You're
to
never gonna
find your
fully-
receivers and
yeah,
fully use them.
Fully capitalize
Like
the whole
sometimes I
offense.
forget how big some of the wide receivers out there, and you look at Cortland Sutton when he's making
Oh,
some of
big
these
dude.
catches against
Huge.
these DBs, and he's huge. He's huge.
Something that we didn't mention when talking about the Texans is that CJ Stroud threw the ball 70 yards in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Did
was
it?
fucking.
Fucking
It
hell.
was from his own 5-yard line to the opponent's 27-yard line.
Is that the one that got called back
Christ.
to?
Yeah.
'Cause-
Got
oh,
for a legal shift, which shouldn't have been an illegal
called.
shift.
Yeah.
It would have been the
Really?
longest ever completed in-air pass in NFL
Yeah.
history.
Fucking
And it got
hell.
It
called
was
back.
a fucking roll.
Called back for a legal shift because that has to go to Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts
Yeah,
to get that
No,
award.
can't-
You know?
the Dolphins have done it every fucking game. It's the Dolphins' movement that they do 50 times a game that got called back for a legal shift.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it shouldn't have been called.
Tank Dell was set, and then he started moving again, and it was like it shouldn't have been called at all.
It was 70 yards in the air. That
Yeah,
is
also
fucking
that's
Tank
nuts.
Dell's
insane.
a dog, man. He's terrifying.
Yeah. man.
Did you hear this? Was it him or Nico Collins? I think it was Tank Dell and CJ, because him and CJ Stroud were good mates. And after CJ Stroud got selected, Tank Dell was like messaging him, congratulating him and stuff. And then he sent him a message saying, "All right, now tell them to go and get me."
Yeah.
It was Tank Dell. I've seen
Yeah,
this.
and apparently they then like. You don't know if it was CJ Stroud that did it, but
Yeah,
you might have had
yeah.
a word to them and said, like, if you're going to go get a guy,
Get
go
this
get
guy.
Tank Dell.
Yeah.
And so they
That's cool.
ended up with him.
I believe his name is Nathaniel Dell.
Is that his actual name?
That's his name.
That's like the whole.
I
That's
think
like
I
if
think
you,
the league's been tainted by guys called Nathaniel. Nathaniel Hackett.
it's like if you go to or like the
He's
Jags.
changed it now legally, I think, to Tank, but on fuck. On our betting provider, it is still Nathaniel Dell.
Just double checking. Have you been pressing the buttons for locks?
I have on all of them except the Broncos one. I
that's-
just forgot it.
Fair enough.
Want to say you're locking it again?
I'm locking the Broncos plus 3.5.
Thanks, guys. Got it.
You're welcome.
That's the same thing as what the Tank Bigsby on Jags. His actual name is Cartavius Bigsby.
Contavious is sick. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah,
this is a sick name.
yeah, that is a sick name. But like Nathaniel.
Which one of us is going to be risky enough to call one of our kids like Contavious or something?
Well, not Harry. He's
Tavius.
not having any.
I'd go for a tank.
Not by
if we're doing
choice.
The whole tank thing.
No, not by choice.
Tobert and Shane.
Tobert and Shane.
Shout out Tobert and Shane.
Yeah, just shout out Tobert.
Right, someone want to announce the next one?
I'll
Okay,
do
first,
it. It's
your
my
team, man. Yeah, go ahead.
The Patriots at home +6 against the Chargers -6 over under 39.5. What a shit game.
Only
Who
six.
are they starting?
Fuck no.
Who are they starting? Who do they want
You know
to
what's
start?
funny? They put on Bailey Zappi and he did arguably worse than Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
The
yeah.
first drive Zappy had was really good.
Zappy usually comes out with one good drive a game, and that's it.
Yeah,
And
it's
he-
usually the
he
first
He also
one.
threw an interception
Yeah.
as well, so then it was like,
So
Do you know how badly I wanted the Giants to lose that game?
couldn't even do that for you, huh?
Nope.
That's rough.
That's why I'm repping them today.
Yeah.
Not the people on the camera
Behind
can
the
see.
glass, he's wearing a Giants.
Yeah.
Got my Giant shirt on.
I mean, we talk about it every week, but I think after these last games, especially after this one, I think it is Bill Belichick's last
Bye-bye,
year
Bill.
at the
He's
Patriots.
going to go to
got-
Washington.
Yeah,
There's
he's going to Washington.
No way the ownership of the Patriots can go, yep, we've got number 1 pick of the draft, or number 2, whatever the fuck it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
It'll be
Probably
two,
like,
'cause
it'll be
the-
top 5.
Yeah, top-
Because the
yeah,
Bears are still going to get number 1 because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Panthers suck shit.
So we'll go if they're going to get a top 5 pick. We're going to draft a new QB. Mac Jones is our guy. And then what? We're just going to give him back to fucking Bill Belichick. It's not gonna happen. Mac Jones, when he came into the league, yes, he wasn't the best QB, but first year in the league as a rookie, took them to the playoffs on a team that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
He was smiling, doing gritties, was fun to watch.
He made the Pro Bowl.
Made the Pro Bowl,
Yeah.
was really cool. Was like a nice rookie story of a guy who wasn't in that top 5 picks, but has done like a bit of work. Very cool. Bill Belichick and that organization have crushed him. They absolutely crushed what could have been a promising quarterback who now, I don't know, he might
Well,
be a
I don't
backup,
think
but
he
I
might
doubt,
be-
I
he'd
doubt
get a
he'll even
backup,
pick
I don't
up.
think he'll get a starter.
that's
No,
kind of
neither.
sad because it goes to show that one year he takes in the playoffs, he makes a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
The next year he's been put in the bin as like one of the worst QBs in the league.
Yeah.
This team is not set up for fucking any QB.
No.
I don't give a shit who you put in there. Yes, some guys may do more than what he's doing in there, but he's not the reason that they're losing these games.
Yeah.
It's just fucking pitiful that this team is doing what they're doing. And you know what's also what's sadder than the way the Pats are playing right now?
What's that?
The fact that the Chargers are only -6 against
That's
a
what-
team
yeah.
Yep.
against a team who just lost 10-7 to the Giants. Chargers are -6. Are you fucking kidding me? How bad do the Chargers have to be to be only -6?
These have to be two of the worst teams in the NFL. The Chargers have had a dynasty of Chargers going to charge. They are fucking terrible. And it's not getting any better. There needs to be, in both these organizations, a serious change. And it probably starts with the head coach in both of them.
The thing you got to
Yeah.
look at as well for these teams is that for both of them as well, is the owners and the GM maybe got to sit down and look at, well, what's the reason these teams are doing so bad right now? Is it the players? No, not really, because you can do a lot of things with a lot of bad players. You know,
Yep.
it really isn't the players at the end of the day. So then, what the fuck is it? Probably
Yep.
the head coaches, the coaching staffs in general.
Yeah.
It's fucking pitiful.
Yeah,
in
it's
terms
sad.
of in terms of the Chargers, I think it comes down to their red zone offense. They can't get into the end zone. Like if you look at the stat numbers for Herbert, if you look at the stat numbers for Eckler, if you look at the stat numbers for Allen, they're all good. They're all good stat lines, and
Yeah, they're
that
good
should
players.
be enough as a three-headed weapon to
Yep.
get them down there. But they can't convert.
Yeah.
Their defense isn't doing enough.
Play
They let
calling is awful.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. You know, it's just one of those things that.
Although
I-
the
that's-
Chargers had one really cool play on the weekend. They threw it to Keenan Allen over the middle, and then he like overhand passed it to Austin Eckler, who was running down the sideline.
Oh, that's
It was
that was
third,
kind of
at,
sick.
third and 16. Passed it forward, then Eckler passed it back, and he made it. Like
That's really sick.
Allen made it.
That was pretty cool.
That's
They-
very-
they got one.
They got one.
They got
They can
one.
have their one.
They got one cool pass or one cool play in the whole game. They
Yeah.
got one.
So you know what's interesting, Grayson, about your red zone thing?
What's that?
I've just checked it. Apparently, they are the fourth best team on red zone scoring
Wait,
touchdowns.
what?
They are the fourth best team. Apparently, when they are in the red zone, let me look at this again. When they're in the red zone, they score 63% of or 64% of the time, which is the
then
fourth
is it-
best.
Wow.
I felt like the other week when they played, it wasn't that great.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
So I
they,
don't know.
they
The
definitely
problem
I
do
don't
is
know whether
they
it was
just
on
don't
the
get.
season
The
or
problem
it's
is they
skewed.
don't get to the red zone enough. Then
Well, maybe
Yeah,
that.
well,
yeah.
that'll be the issue, right? Apparently, they're the eighth best team in scoring touchdowns per game.
What the fuck?
but their
How's their
defense sucks.
How's their run defense?
Let's have a look. The defense is absolute dog shit. They allow the most yards per game with 390 total yards per game.
is a defensive-minded
But that's always been the thing that people have like. That's how people defend Justin Herbert.
Their
did
pass
anyone-
defense is pretty much the worst in the league.
Okay.
Did
'Cause
anyone
it-
ask Staley about his play calling this week just to trigger him?
Just to find
just
out.
just to wind him up.
Who's
'Cause
going
they-
to be calling
I
the plays
would've-
this week? Who's going to be calling the plays?
Yeah.
It'll be me.
It'll be me.
There's that.
you stop fucking
There's
asking
that
that
stat
question?
that they've scored the same amount of points and conceded the same amount of points since Justin Herbert's got there.
Wow.
So like,
Herbert needs to get freed, man. Free up Justin. Herbert.
Free Herbie.
but he
Herbie.
won't because he's their franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
No, I know he's staying, but
I mean, yeah.
He should just not sign a new. Well, he just signed a new contract.
Yeah, yeah.
Shit,
Not a
he
lot
just
of
got
money.
paid.
Yeah. But I mean, this is the thing, right?
what's he
When
the
you've
second
got
highest paid QB in the league?
I believe so. Yeah.
Fuck it.
when you've got two teams and you can't overall point to what is the problem, or you can't overall point to what is the solution, i.e., switch out this player for this player, you've got a good setup. Then you got to start looking at management.
Yeah, you got to look at
Like,
coaching.
and coaching, and so that's
And
kind of
interesting
where,
about the
where
whole
it goes.
like, player contract thing is that, as well, Dak is on his contract year.
Oh, okay,
And
yeah.
people think that like that's half the reason he's playing so insane. And people think if he keeps going how he's going, he will break the Joe Burrow's record to
Yeah.
be the highest paid, which he honestly probably will.
Probably
be.
will.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
the Cowboys, and they
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Jerry,
much money.
Jerry's World Money is going to keep him. I'll tell you.
Yeah. And the thing is as well with these teams too is next year there's going to be a whole fresh batch of coaches who are like the offensive coach or the defensive coach who are looking for head coach jobs.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson is the first
I was
that
going
comes
to
to
say
mind.
every team that sucks needs to be looking at Ben Johnson.
Yeah. And so
Other than the
Who's
Giants,
Ben Johnson?
Lions.
Lions OC.
Oh,
Yeah.
The Giants are keeping Dayball, which I'm happy about. So
Yeah, and so it's kind of like there's going to be a few shifts there, and I mean, any year is a good year, I guess, if you're this bad to start looking at those sort of changes. So,
Right. Do we want to wrap it up? And does anyone want to lock this game?
No.
If it was any more, I'd lock the Pats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
I was very tempted to lock the
Yeah.
Chargers, but I can't.
No,
I
there's
can't.
just
No,
no
you
way.
can't do
There's
it.
just
I
no
can't
way.
do it.
Bad
all right
game,
then,
man.
let's take a break and I can piss.
yeah.
Okay,
I need a piss too.
And we're back. On to the next game. What do we have here?
Steelers cards.
Steelers Cardinals.
Steelers at home minus 5.5 against the Cardinals plus 5.5 over under 40.5.
Steelers just beat the Bengals 16-10.
That's not an accomplishment anymore, I don't think, in my opinion.
See, I don't know, man. Yeah, I guess not. However, though, they did look good. That's the thing. Like, yes, I know it's not an accomplishment, but they did still look like a way better team.
Well,
than-
like I said earlier, it's their first time in 51 games of having over 400 yards of offense.
Yeah.
yeah, like they
Yeah.
actually looked good. Najee was doing well, but then again, what I write here, something about
Something about Matt Canada, and that was the problem.
Bengals are bottom 3 against the run.
Yeah, that's the thing. Bengals
Yeah.
bottom 2 against the run, so don't be fooled by Najee's big yards. Yeah, against one of the worst rushing teams. Same as
Yeah.
the Derrick Henry stat. Like,
So
can't-
this is the first game about Matt Canada, right?
no, that was
No,
last
that
game.
was last week.
Oh,
That's
that
why
last
they
week.
McKenna.
Yeah.
That's why they
right.
had 400 yards. And they threw the ball down the middle of the field for
Yeah.
the first time all season.
Yeah, that's right, because it's kind of...
highest receiver of the week, Pat Fryermuth.
That's
Oh,
it.
insane.
He had a
I
best
looked
game
at
of
him
his
last week to
career.
pick him up as a
Yeah.
tight end, and I didn't touch him because he was doing shit the entire time.
I told who was it? You
nuts.
that were looking at tight end?
No, I told Sluice to take him.
I told somebody as well. Like, if you're looking at,
Should've told me.
like, if you needed a tight end, if you're looking at a tight end, Muth has just come off his thing. Like, someone needs to go grab. I can't remember who I told. Maybe John. But like, no one ended up grabbing him. But I've got a waiver in this week for him. Hopefully, I get him.
Nice.
Yeah, I've got him. But
'Cause-
I've got a
yeah.
waiver, but
I'm
Because
fourth,
not
so
gonna
I
get
might-
Sluice
I might
wanted
go
a
slip it
tight
in.
end, and I was going to trade him Cole Kmet, and I was like, "Oh, Muth's there. You can go get Muth if you want." But
yeah.
he obviously didn't.
Yeah. Which is interesting. And then the whole like Deontay Johnson, like first Pickens was having major issues with that team, right? Like
Hey, he didn't
massive
see it.
arguments,
He didn't see the fumble.
massive arguments and
That's
stuff.
why he didn't
He was
defend.
walking. Deontay
he-
Johnson was walking. He didn't
He
do
didn't.
anything.
Hey, he claims he didn't see it.
And there were massive arguments before that game about everything. Like he was fucking in the locker room, like
Yep.
almost fighting people and stuff like
Yep.
that. So,
He was almost fighting Minka Fitzpatrick.
That's right, yeah. Yeah.
I feel like that's
It's,
a dangerous game.
Yeah.
TJ Watt and Cam Hayward had to break it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. The Steelers, they're looking a bit better because they fired Matt Canada, but I still wouldn't be touching them. You know, they're still. I don't know.
yeah.
man.
And interestingly, like I said about the whole
I
Najee
don't
thing,
know,
like
man.
you got to be careful about the whole where they versed to one of the worst teams. Turns out, whilst on the stats, then I jumped to the Cardinals. Turns out Cardinals are one of the worst teams against the run as well.
Wow,
so
we'll talk about
it
that.
may be worth betting on Najee to dominate the Cardinals here.
Yeah, they lost to the Rams 34-17 at home. That's interesting. No fumbles and no interceptions.
But that's what I'm saying. No fumbles, no interceptions. How do you look that bad?
Yeah.
How do you let like 0 fumbles, interceptions? Like Kyler Murray looked fine. Like he's been putting up points since he came back. He looks good.
Yeah.
Somehow the Rams just got pressure on
Yeah,
Kyler.
honestly, it's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
insane. Like
They
The
do have
D-line's not
Aaron.
that great.
They do have
No.
Aaron Donald.
It's really
Yeah, but it's one guy.
Yeah, but he's Aaron Donald.
It's really funny though, like how we all spoke, like it's Kyler Murray coming back, and when he comes back, is he going to be good or not? Yeah, actually, it turns out he's pretty
Yeah,
damn
it turns
good.
out he is.
Like that's really, it's quite cool to see. And now you have to look at the rest of the Cardinals and be like, oh, okay, what else is wrong? Because it isn't Kyler. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do next year. But I'm staying the fuck away from this.
yeah, I
game.
don't like look if it was a 3.5, I'd take Steelers minus 3.5.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
The
5.5 's
The
quite
5.5
big.
is just too much for me.
Yeah.
Like I get they beat the Bengals, but the Bengals aren't the Bengals, so we know that that's not worth
Yeah.
as much as what it
Yeah.
says. And the Cardinals look fine. They don't look great. They kind of look bad, but still 5.5 is just not. It's not
not a-
enough for me to touch.
It's not
Yeah.
the one.
Let's move to the next game because there's a note here in all bold, and I want to know what the story is behind this. So, Commanders at home plus 9.5 against the Dolphins minus 9.5, over under of 49.5. Now, the note that stacks out to me is under the Commanders, you have teams that are always behind don't have the luxury of running the ball.
Yeah, and that came when I was looking at all the stats and everything. It really came to me first of all with the Jets. Right, they've got Breece Hall, and when you look at the stats, I'm pretty sure they're a top 17 or something like that on yards per carry, like not yards per game, but that sort of thing. And then there's also happened again with this game, yards per carry. They're looking really good. The problem is when you're a team that is always trailing, like the Jets are always trailing. We know that. The Washington Commanders pretty much always trailing.
Yeah.
That is half the reason that Sam Howell has so many passing yards, because when you're trailing, you can't run the ball as much. You don't have the clock management. If you're
Yeah,
down
yeah.
by 10,
You're
down
trying
by
to-
7, down by 6, you need to catch up. You
Trying to get
can't
chunk
just
plays.
exactly. You're
Yeah.
trying to get some chunk plays. So although they may be pretty good at running the ball and they're getting a lot of yards per carry, they don't have the luxury of just fucking let's run the ball. We're good at it, because you'll just get dominated on time and possession.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like it's not worth it when you're up ahead. Yeah, sure, that's when running the ball works works the best, and
Yeah.
like you'll see teams that aren't good at running the ball still run the ball when they're up a lot,
Yeah.
just because of the clock chew. Like it's just
Yeah, and absolutely. The Commanders' offense isn't bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. But the defense is just abysmal.
Yeah,
It is-
100%.
It is that bad. They lost to the Cowboys 45-10, which is testament to the Cowboys, but also testament to how bad that defense is.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sam Howell, still a dog.
yeah. And let me jump on that one as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I don't think he gets the respect he deserves. Yes, people think, oh yeah, he's good. You know, oh yeah, he's passing leaders. Yeah, but I don't think people understand like the numbers he's putting up week after week after week. Like CJ Stroud has such a bad start to the season, and then popped off the last 4 games, whatever it's been. Right, Sam Howell's been doing that all season. The like major differences is the turnovers, the interceptions. That is the key factor that really separates those two. You can go to a website and compare player stats, right?
Yeah.
And that is the main thing for this year is the interceptions that he's been throwing.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think he's that far behind CJ Stroud. I really don't. I think he is probably one of the best like young QBs over the past 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, he gets up after taking hit after
Oh,
hit
he's a dog.
after
He's a
hit
dog,
after
man.
hit.
Like he runs more. He's a better running QB than a lot of the new QBs that have come into the league. That people thought would be maybe dual threat or like.
Yeah,
you
and
know.
he's got a cannon.
Yep,
This dude can
absolutely.
haul that
And he's
ball.
confident when he moves the ball around.
100%.
Yes, yeah. That's
He plays.
another.
He doesn't play like he's fucking.
He doesn't
Like it's his first season. you know?
Yeah,
He played
yeah.
one game last year, the final game against the Cowboys, and he balled out on that game.
Yeah.
And he's just been doing great since.
Yeah.
He's the type of guy I would love to have at the Seahawks.
Oh, I'd take him at the Pats.
No.
Oh, because he's at the Seahawks.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
I'd
The
take
Pats don't
anyone at
deserve
the
him.
Giants.
Can I trade you? I'll give you Bailey Zappi for Drew Lock.
Drew Lock?
Yeah, I'll take anyone.
Dude's desperate.
And you could have Zappy hour.
Okay, on the other side, we've got the Dolphins, right? We got Dolphins.
Dolphins.
Minus 9.5. They beat the Jets 34-13 away. No confidence in the Dolphins.
Really?
You have none?
I disagree.
Not really.
They are still the best offense in the league. That is still not really up for debate, I think, especially with how Mossad is. And then also Achane might be back this week, so that'll be amazing. The defense with having Ramsey back is a different defense to how they've started. That was the major thing, right? It was like, can the offense score more than the defense can hold? And usually it was kind of like, not really. Like it was getting very close. But now with him back, and obviously fantasy's not everything, but with Ramsey back, or at least the past 7 weeks, and a few of these have been with Ramsey back, past 7 weeks in fantasy, the defense has scored 28, 17, 10, 11, 12, 10, 15. That's big numbers for defense.
That's huge numbers.
7
That
weeks
is
in a row.
really good.
Not just like a random 7 weeks on the season. 7 weeks in a row, they've been putting up numbers, stopping a lot of teams. I like the Dolphins, but I just... 9.5's a lot. It really is.
That's a lot.
See,
It's
that's
big
where my
margins.
confidence wavers. It's like they're not going to blow a team out
They're not,
every week.
Yeah, they're not as scary as I thought they once were. They still
Exactly.
might be the best offense of the league, but the 49ers offense scares me more than this
Yeah,
offense
sure.
does, you know?
It's
Like-
more dynamic.
Yeah. Even I think even the Cowboys offense scares me more.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Yeah?
That might be pushing it a little bit.
You got to remember, Dolphins are 8-3. The 3 teams they lost against are Buffalo, Chiefs, and Eagles.
Yeah.
3 teams that hard to beat on any day.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
maybe not Buffalo anymore. I don't know what the fuck's going on with them, but
No, I don't know.
Nobody
either.
does.
That was the one game Buffalo played well this season. so-
Yeah.
that was the game that Buffalo played, and everyone's kind of like, "Whoa, man, are Buffalo back?"
Yeah, yep. That was a conversation we had on this podcast.
Yeah.
If anything,
Still don't know the answer.
if anything,
I don't think they're back, man.
if anything, maybe even take the over. You know, if you're not confident enough in the Dolphins to win by 9.5, then maybe take the over on this.
49.5, the over.
It's a
That's a
big
big
over.
over. It's a big
50,
over.
50 points is a big over.
Yeah.
But then again, against the Jets, right? It was what 57
Yeah.
or 47. Sorry,
47.
47.
Yeah,
Now
I
it's
think,
49.
I mean, the Jets got more points than the Commanders did against the Cowboys.
Holy shit, this is math now. All I'm seeing in this and the notes is Commanders are allowing the 3rd most pass yards per game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Tyreek Hill, you can
Yeah,
let up a
yeah.
lot of pass yards.
I'm a fan of
can.
football. I'll take the over at 49.5.
Is that a lock?
Yeah, it's a lock.
I just bumped something and all my sound's gone. No.
Producer Harry.
Hey.
You know what? Fuck. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the under
Okay.
49.
Okay.
You know, just to go down the middle, I'll lock the Dolphins minus 9.5.
Well, yeah, split the
I
split the
don't
Why
get
not,
Cowboys.
sound anymore.
Harry has no sound.
Here is no sound.
He can't hear us behind the glass.
My headphones are broken. There's a lock sound for you.
All right, that's all for that one, huh?
Yeah, let's move to another riveting game of the Bucks minus 5.5 at home against the Panthers plus 5.5. Why have I done 0.5s this time? Over under 36.5. Might as well be consistent.
Keep with it.
Yeah. And the Bucks, we say it every week, very mid-team.
My headphones died. That's what happened.
Oh,
I can't hear sound anymore.
Thanks, producer Harry. They lost to the Colts 27-20 away. They allowed 6 sacks. I can keep reading off the stats, but they're just not a team that excites, you know?
Yeah,
The thing is, they can be, though. We've seen it.
Yeah, but we see it for like a play. You know what I mean? Like it's a good highlight play, but an overall game.
I think they're very mid. I mean, it comes back to the whole thing. They are a very middle of the road team.
Yeah.
They never have games where they look dominant in the game, and there's no games where you think, man, they got dominated that game. Like they're
Yeah.
just very middle of the road.
Do you think Baker's going to be there next year?
I hope so.
He's
Yeah,
good.
I don't
I
know.
think he's
To
been
honest.
playing well. I think he's earned next year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I hope
least.
so. It'll just be interesting to see. Well, they're playing the Panthers, who lost to the Titans 17-10 away. And I agree with this note here in all caps. Bin this team.
Yeah, put them in the bin.
Put them in the bin.
That note was on the Pats as well. I want that known.
Yeah, it was.
Not only are the Panthers 1-10, right?
Yep.
Goes back to the whole Cowboys thing, right? Every time was it Cowboys?
Yeah. Whenever
So-
they've not covered, they've lost.
Yeah, every time they won a game, they covered. No matter how many minus points you gave the Cowboys, they covered every single one.
Yeah.
Even the 16 and a
Even the
half,
16
or
and a
whatever the
half.
fuck it was.
Nuts.
Panthers are 1-10. Every single game they have lost, no matter how many points they've been given in the margin plus whatever, they haven't covered.
No.
They have not covered a
Perfect.
single.
Block it, Harry. Bucks minus 5.5.
I mean, honestly, like
convinced
it's
me.
You've twisted me on. Plus, I had a quick look ahead, and I don't like any of the other games in terms of betting, so I'm going to lock the Bucks minus 1.5.
Fair. The head coach change. So.
Up there.
Grow taller. Hands.
So
Snag.
Frank Wright's been fired.
Yep.
I don't think that's going to fix the team. I actually think
Not this season, no.
No, there's a big problem with the owner, which sucks because that won't change.
No.
Have you heard about his record to do with coaches in general?
Oh, they've had like 9 coaches in the last 2 years.
Oh, so that's just the Panthers.
Oh,
So
yeah.
no, the record for the owner himself, I think it's Tepper.
Yeah, David Tepper.
David Tepper. So he himself has fired 2 coaches in the past 2 years for the Panthers alone. He has an MLS team as well, and he fired a coach, hired a coach. That coach took them to playoffs. He then fired that coach, hired another coach. So in the past 4 years, he has gone through coach after coach after coach, and then comes out in a press conference and says, "I'm not actually good at hiring and firing the coaches. It's not really what my skill at.
And
so
then he-
leave it alone."
And then he
Give it to
came
someone
out and
else.
said that they should have taken CJ Stroud in
That-
the draft
No,
too.
actually, did you watch the video?
I haven't watched the video.
See, that's
I've
interesting.
I've
The
just seen
quotations
clip.
is a little
I've
bit
gone
weird.
Off,
It's really
I've gone
strange.
off Twitter.
Because that's what I read the quote. I'm kind of
Not
like,
safe.
that doesn't really make sense what he said.
I should really
right?
watch these videos.
And so then I found it when I was going on Twitter. So I watched the video.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily that they should have taken CJ Stroud. It was that they had a plan to trade up or trade down, because they thought the Texans would take Bryce Young if they had the Bryce Young or if they had the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
So they were kind of thinking that they would do that. Then everybody, including the coaches and the staff, came to a decision that they all agreed that Bryce Young was better. So then they went with Bryce Young.
okay.
It's not so that they don't say, "Oh, we should have," or we were going to. They had the idea of trading and doing that, but then they decided that
Oh, that's
Bryce
what
Young
I should
was
really
their
watch
guy.
videos. 'Cause I'm going off headlines here, and I should really not
it was
do that.
weird though, and I think overall unnecessary.
Weird quote.
Didn't,
Why talk
didn't
about
need
that?
to be said. All you need
Yeah.
to do is just say, "Yep, Bryce Young's our guy."
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not more fucking complicated than that.
yeah.
Let us retards talk on the couch about how we don't like Bryce Young.
Yeah.
But he's your QB. Back him up. Just say it's his first year.
Another speaking because we're talking about the Panthers. Frank Reich, who just got fired from the Colts last
Yeah,
year.
he's got so much money.
He's on 2 guaranteed contracts.
Yeah.
He's almost I think
25,000 a day for the
Yeah.
next 4 years.
yeah,
Just sit on the
Yeah.
couch.
To
do
do
what we
nothing.
do right now,
And-
but like
and
not
and he
even-
can
not
still
even
get another
content.
job.
I think he's on like
Yeah.
27 million guaranteed to not work
That's
again.
nice. Well, also, did you know
That's
that
pretty good. I'll take that.
Kind of,
I'd
yes.
take that.
Yeah, it's the most.
I'd consider
that
it.
Do you ever
coaching
consider
staff.
tanking as a coach just so you get freebies?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
That coaching staff was the most expensive coaching staff in the league
Because
as well.
didn't the defensive or someone come from the Lions?
I'm not sure.
Because
I
they
might
fired
have-
their defensive or offensive coordinator too, and I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure he was one of the guys that was in Hard Knocks for the Lions.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Insane.
And then also, but then the biggest contract before Frank Reich was Matt Rule, who Tepper hired
yeah.
and then fired.
It must have been the OC
Maybe they can go on holiday
because
together.
Aaron Glenn's
Yeah.
still at the Lions.
Yeah, it must have been OC.
With the
yeah.
OC,
must-
and that's where Ben Johnson's
that's when
come
Ben
from.
Johnson comes up. Yep, you're right. Also, just while we're talking about contracts and stuff, I forgot to mention this about the back to the Chargers. Did you know that Bosa and who's the other edge rush on that?
Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack had the highest contracts, not of QBs, not of edge rushers, just the highest in the league over the offseason. They've got so much money tied up in those two guys.
Yeah.
It's absolutely it's insane. They won't. I don't think Bosa's going to play another snap for them.
Was he injured that bad?
He's injured, and then they'll cut him after the season just because of the amount of fucking money that's spent.
Maybe.
Depending on how the contract goes. But
And
he's
he'll
al-
go to
but he's also
San
that-
Fran to join his brother and
Yeah,
fucking him,
yeah.
Chase Young, and Nick Bosa are all on the
Jesus
D line.
Christ.
Jesus.
Yeah. Sorry to sidetrack that one, but I'm staying away from this game. Grace has lost the Bucks. You doing a loft?
I did loft the
No,
Bucks.
no.
Loft the Bucks.
I loft them.
Lofty
I loft them a
Bucks.
lot.
All right, let's go to another game.
All right, next game we've got Rams at home -3.5, Browns +3.5, under over 39.5. The Browns are starting to third string QB.
So who are they
Yeah.
starting this week?
Well, because
DTR got absolutely fucking
DTR got
rinsed.
rolled.
Okay.
It might be Joe Flacco.
Oh, it must be Flacco.
It might. There's another one whose name I can't remember, but yes, Flacco's the other quarterback that they might be
Damn.
playing.
I'll
Well,
take the
with
Rams
with how-
-3.5. That's a lock.
Well, with how their third string, like,
Flacco v Wentz, bro. Let's run it. Let's fucking run it.
I honestly back it. It'd be an entertaining game to watch, if anything.
Yeah, interesting. Rams -3.5 just beat Cardinals 34-17. Stafford's kind of back, man. Like he
Yeah.
absolutely balled out, no doubt about it. Interestingly, he did. Yet Nakua and Cup and both nowhere to be seen. Like neither of them are really doing anything in these games. Few catches. I think they both have 4 catches each.
I just want to mention, some guy said that Kyron Williams was going to be back this week, and that guy would be me.
And he was.
And he was.
He
yeah,
was.
man. Yeah.
He had, I think, did he have the most receiving yards as well as the most rush yards? Like,
No, I think it was Higbee.
But like, I think he put up like 80 in the passing game, and he like ran for like
He had
100
over
and
200
something.
yards. Yeah.
Yeah, 100 and something, 150 on the ground or some shit.
He had a
Dude's
game.
insane.
He had a
Dude's
game.
insane.
I also have to mention as well that I badmouthed Matt Stafford and said he should retire. He's broken and old, but I was wrong. I can accept that. Good on you, Matt Stafford. Prove me wrong.
Good job.
Well, he
Yeah.
doesn't want Carson Wentz getting his job.
Yeah, that's fair.
true.
Also, that when I said it when we were talking earlier, I am locking for Rams -3.5.
Yeah, I'm going to look the Rams -3.5 here too.
Yeah. Broncos. Not Broncos. Sorry, Browns. The offense is a shambles. Starting a third string QB, and even that scary defense is gone.
Yeah,
it's just
not
not.
so
It's just
much.
not showing up as much anymore.
And
so.
Miles Garrett's injured.
Is he out though?
They're taking it day to day. He said he felt his shoulder pop, and he was in a sling when he left the stadium.
But didn't he
So-
have a car crash and then play the next game?
I think he
last
missed
year?
one.
Did he miss
Yeah, I
one
think he missed
game? Yeah,
one.
he'll probably just shrug that off
he'd
and
probably
carry
come
on.
back.
But yeah, that's just another thing to consider. He did leave the stadium in a sling.
In a sling.
So yeah, probably back the Rams.
Yeah, definitely back the Rams, especially if Miles Garrett's not there.
Mm.
But then again, if all you have to worry about is Miles Garrett on the defense, then you can kind of plan a little bit for that.
Well, you'd think that, but he still seems to get
Yeah,
a
that's the
sack
magic.
every game.
That's the magic of Miles Garrett.
He's very good.
He's very good.
Next game. Packers +6.5 at home. Chiefs -6.5. Over under 42.5. Packers beat the Lions 22-29. We've talked about that. They scored 9 points across 3 quarters. That's not very good. Chiefs beat the Raiders 31-17. They were down 14-0, came back with a 28-point swing, put up 28 points to the Raiders' 3 points across the time after that. Somehow, the Chiefs just seem to win every fucking game. Well, not
That's-
every game, but they just seem to win. They find a way just to fucking win.
That's like their motto, right? We find a way to win.
fucking might as well be.
Yeah, it's really weird. You'll watch them and be like, oh, this is not good Chiefs playing. I mean, they win the game.
Yeah, Kelsey gets 70 yards in one
Yeah,
play,
yeah.
and it's like, okay, well, fair enough.
And for that reason, I'm locking Chiefs -6.5.
Yeah, I was looking at it. I'm very tempted to. Very, very tempted to. Ref ball. Was it ref ball last game?
I'm just saying. There's just
I don't think it was as much last
No,
game. to be
no,
honest.
I'm just saying. There's just a decent chance you can count the refs to do something cool for the Chiefs.
For the Chiefs, yeah, absolutely. I think they're more focused. I'd say this year, more focused on the Eagles.
Yeah,
They're loving a bit of ref ball
Did
for the
you
Eagles at
see
the
that
moment.
shit with the Bills? The horse collar.
Yeah, Josh Allen's shirt was
Holy
ripped.
yeah.
and he
fuck,
didn't call
man.
it.
He
Yep.
got penalised on that for intentional ground.
Yeah, yeah. He
There was,
got,
speaking
fuck,
speaking
man.
of, there was one in the Bears Vikings game where a Bears player got pushed into the Vikings bench, got punched heaps
I
of time.
saw
His
that.
face mask broke off his helmet, and then he got flagged for taking his helmet off.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because his whole face mask was hanging off his helmet.
Yeah, it's like what
And
the
it
fuck?
got called for taunting. Like,
Yeah, and got a personal foul.
The officiating is getting worse.
It was
every
so
year.
weird, man.
It is fucked.
the fun thing,
okay.
I found like the Packers have got a little bit more confidence on the offense. Jan Reed's turned up. Christian Watson's turned up as well, but I don't know if it's going to be consistent enough. Is my issue.
Yeah. Jordan Love looks pretty good though. He's coming into his own, which is nice.
He's looking good.
Yeah.
The only problem that I have with that is they're not diverse enough because they don't trust their run game enough at the moment.
Sure.
Like
yeah,
AJ
yeah.
Dillon's doing enough, but it's not dynamic as when they have Aaron Jones in there, and then when they've had Aaron Jones there recently, they haven't been utilizing him. So if he is back this week and they utilize him, they could beat the Chiefs.
I don't think they're going to beat the Chiefs.
You just never know.
That's a bit. That's a bit
That's
too
a
far.
homer in the corner there. I can respect that.
Hey,
at least
I'm a back
at
it
least
all
that.
day. But
Yeah,
the thing
yeah.
is, I'm
I've
not
just
gonna
noticed
put-
we've finally got to Giants bye week. Yeah, celebrate.
I'm not touching this game with money. I hope the Packers win. I really do, because we all hate the Chiefs, and the Packers probably deserve this win.
I think I hate the Packers more.
I think I hate the Packers more.
Yeah, I hate the Packers more too.
How about the Chiefs?
Honestly, I hope you lose your bets. I don't think I've said that on the podcast, but I hope you lose this one. Honestly, it was unfair. But yeah, no, I think the Packers can pull this out, but not enough for me to put money on it.
Nah, fair enough. Let's go to the final game. Bit of prime time.
Prime time.
You gonna hit it?
Monday Night Football.
Very nice. Now, this primetime game would have been dope, but now it's probably going to be a bit one-sided. It's Jags at home, -7.5 against the Bengals, +7.5, over-under of 38.5.
What have you lost?
What have you lost?
I missed a game.
You missed a game.
What do you mean you missed a
What
game?
game
Did
did
I
we miss?
copy and paste over a game?
What do you mean you missed a game?
Get Harry to have a
What
look.
game? What game
What
do you
game
think you
you
missed?
49ers Eagles.
Oh, well, yeah, we haven't talked about that.
No, we haven't talked about that yet.
We'll leave that one to last because it's probably the most interesting.
Oh.
Okay, so Jags, we talked about them a little bit. They beat the Texans 24-21 away. They are back. They are solid all over. Lawrence threw 364 yards. Etienne couldn't do anything in the run, which he's on my fantasy team, and I noticed that.
We did miss 49ers Eagles. It's not on the sheet, but
Yeah.
We can talk about that though. And yeah, 8-3, but those losses were the Chiefs, the Texans, and the Niners. So yeah, Jags looking pretty cool, and Bengals, we kind of know their story. There's only one story. Joe Barry's not there. The team's
Yeah.
not good, and that's
Yeah,
it.
It's sad, is what it is.
Without
Yeah,
Joe
sad
Barry,
as shit.
they really don't have a chance to compete for the rest of the season. There are several catches that were lucky catches by the
Chase.
Bengals. Yeah, by Chase, because
Off deflections.
they came off deflections off the defensive players, and he managed to kind of like turn around, and the ball was kind of like floating in front of him, so
Yeah.
he grabbed it. But like that's not going to happen every. Like once again, you can't. These lucky things or unlucky things that happen aren't going to happen every week. But when it's missed throws, that's not luck. That's missed throws.
Yeah.
So I don't think the 7.5 really. I don't think will be enough for the Jags for the Niners to catch up.
For the Bengals.
Or for the Bengals to
He's
catch
just
up.
looking
Yeah,
forward to the next
yeah.
game.
If you're losing by 6 points to the Steelers, come on, yikes! You
Yeah.
know what the fuck's he gonna do?
You gonna do it?
Yeah, might as well. Jags -7.5. I'll lock that.
Jags -7.5. I'll lock that. Oh man, that was really like I thought we were building this up.
I'm gonna leave you hanging.
Okay, fair enough.
Do you want me? Because I have the odds in front of me for the Eagles.
For the bonus game.
So we have
The tackle for last game of the week. Brought to you by producer Harry.
That's a good one. I like that.
Hey,
Um,
any sponsor could jump in and be brought to you by name right there. You know.
Yeah, I'm paying for this game to
Crew
be,
even put a big graphic
to
on
be
the
talked
screen.
about. We'll get a sound on the soundboard going. So we have Eagles at +2.5 against the Niners -2.5.
What a game this will be.
Jesus.
So who's home?
Oh, that's Ayla. She's just walked in.
Oh,
Yeah.
I believe it is at the Link in Philadelphia.
right, makes sense.
Okay.
Home game.
I don't really know what to think. Yeah,
tricky
look,
game. Good watch, should
That's
be.
the thing. I'm not going to bet on this game. I think it'll be a very entertaining game.
I
Oh.
hope that's on there as well.
The
There's more
locals
music
It
are
Yeah.
sounds like the
playing.
dude is on our lawn.
Maybe he is.
I think he's in Fraser.
Come on to the podcast, mate.
How is it enjoyable sitting in your car with music playing that loud?
Yeah,
Dude.
bonkers.
If you're a person who listens to this podcast and you have the big ass speakers on the outside of your car and you play music, stop listening to this fucking podcast. I don't want your support.
Unless you're playing our podcast on that sound.
Just drive around.
Now it's just static.
No, that's the
Ayla.
kettle. That's the kettle.
Psych.
Speaker static. Drive around town.
All right.
So Eagles Niners, talk boys.
It's a hard game
I
to
think we gotta
call.
wait. I think we gotta wait for the kettle.
Oh, we gotta wait for the kiddo.
Yeah.
I wish I still had sound. I could tell you if I could
Oh,
hear it or not.
I heard it a couple days, like a couple weeks ago when I did the editing.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. Let's start the
okay.
game. Harry, what are the odds for the last
Bonus
game that we missed?
game.
Game of the week.
Game presented by Harry.
Hey, that's me. I'm here. So we have Eagles at home +2.5 against the 49ers -2.5.
Interesting game.
Probably best game of the week.
Oh,
I'm
100%.
hoping
Yeah.
so.
I can see why
On
you-
face value, 100%.
Yeah, I can
Because-
see why you
yeah.
left it off the sheet just for that
Yeah.
build up, you know?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
I think this game, like, I'm not going to touch it betting on it wise. Like, I think it's just so could go either way. Obviously, I really want the Niners to win this. I'm
Yeah,
a big
absolutely.
Niners fan this season.
Yeah.
But this will be like a precursor of what's to come in the playoffs. You know, like
NFC
that's-
Championship game.
Yeah, like
pretty much.
Yeah,
this
very much.
realistically could be an NFC Championship game.
Yeah. If I could bet on the over-under of ref ball, I would.
Oh yeah,
If the Niners may lose this purely on a ref ball basis.
yeah.
If
Because
that happens, there will be chaos online.
there will be absolute chaos. Yeah.
There'll be chaos on this podcast next week, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
probably.
It's one of those things where I say I'm not going to bet on this, but I know that it's going to get to our Tuesday, and I'm going to be like, ooh, little bit of CMC.
Oh yeah,
Little
like,
bit
you can
of
definitely bet on some
Ayuk.
player stuff on here, but I'm just not going to
100%.
take any locks.
No.
You know?
Nah,
not at all.
yeah, I can't call which way this is going, but it'll be a damn good game.
Could you give me maybe a small same game multi that you would possibly put on? If we're not going to talk about whether we're locking it.
Absolutely. All
I'll
right,
give you one afterwards.
I'm going to
Okay.
go for I'll go CMC minimum amount of rushing yards. I'm going to go Ayuk is on fire. Minimum amount of runny ball yards.
Receiving yards, I believe you
yeah,
mean.
receiving
He is a
yards,
wide
that's-
receiver.
That's the one. What else am I going to throw in there? I'm going to go...
They might have Dallas Goddard back too,
Mm,
which makes that offense so much more dangerous.
yeah, but I'm probably going to go for AJ Brown, minimum amount. And then probably some Purdy throwing yards. I'm not going to go Hurts because sometimes he doesn't ball out. And it's like a little bit scary. But I'm probably going to go somewhere in that vicinity.
It'd almost be worth just putting on like something that's probably almost a bit safe. Would be like a Jalen Hurts rush touchdown. They get down to like within that 5-yard line. There's every chance they just push them right the way in.
I feel like you could throw a silly couple anytime touchdowns
yeah.
on here, you know.
This is what.
Here we go.
This is the
we
exact
go.
bet I'm
Producer
going to
Harry
hit.
Brought to
special.
you
Yeah.
by producer
I'm going to
Harry.
bet on this, and I will write it down somewhere and make sure I do.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Brock Purdy to throw for 200.
Nice.
Probably be
Okay.
higher than 200 as minimum.
No, at minimum usually sits around 175. I
Okay.
think. Yeah, I'm going to go. Brock 200. Ayuk minimum, which is 60 maybe.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
roundabout.
CMC minimum rushing, CMC touchdown, and AJ Brown minimum.
I'll ride that.
And that's going to be my
nice.
going to be my
Nice.
same game
Nice.
multi that
Nice.
I'm going to.
Scrap my one. That one.
that I'm gonna put $20 on it, and I will come back to you next week with my winnings.
Rich.
Thanks, Harry.
Nice.
Come back rich, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
In fact, I'm gonna put it in right now so I don't
Whoa.
forget.
Can't. They
Can't you?
don't. They don't have.
They won't be. They won't
They,
be
they
there
won't
yet.
have player
Oh, I
stuff
thought
on
you were
there
calling
yet.
him
play
a
props
cunt.
not.
So did I. Okay, I'll put it in next Monday or Sunday then.
Yes.
Sweet.
Sounds good.
Well, that's the week.
That's all right. We're
So
done now.
there is a thing on here. I owe a lock gun because I locked the Texans over the Jags.
Full.
Didn't buy cans of
Yeah.
beer this week, so I'll postpone that to next week and remember to buy a can at least.
Well,
one.
Grayson will remember to buy a can.
Yeah, I'm on beers next week.
Yeah. Well, Grayson's probably actually just going to supply us with beer next week from his ones he doesn't drink on his crate. Hey, boys, you know it's crate day this weekend? For the international
Nah, I'm
viewers,
pretty
you
sure I'm
don't
gonna
know.
keep pace and do like my whole crate in like 4 hours.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
So, Crate Day for the international viewers is an annual non-holiday in New
Hey,
Zealand.
they just had Thanksgiving over in the States.
is our
Yeah,
This is
it's
our Thanksgiving.
where you buy
You get drunk with your friends and family.
a crate of beer, and now a crate is about
9
liters
liters,
of
yeah.
beer, and you drink
In
it
nice
all
big
in
glass
one
bottles.
day. And
In
it's,
one day.
It's hard work, but
Try
very,
to do
very
one bottle
rewarding.
an hour.
You try to do one bottle an hour, and you'll
It's a
get through
mental,
it.
physical, emotional
You never
toll.
do one bottle an hour. It gets to
Yeah.
like the last 6 hours or last 5 hours, and you realize you've got like 6 bottles. And
Yeah.
then,
Well, I find mine usually goes, I have one quite quickly because I'm like, excited for the day.
a nice day.
I'll rip
You're
another one
thirsty.
quite quickly.
Yeah.
I'll sit on my third, and then it gets to like later on in the night, and I'm realize that I haven't been drinking anything for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, now I have 5 beers to do.
Well, you boys missed it last year.
We
so
did. We were overseas. So yeah, that's what we'll give you a report on that on a New Zealand Crate Day.
Over under on how many bottles you drink.
I'm hoping the crate, mate.
Yeah.
I'm hoping all 12.
Over 12. I'm rated someone else's
He's gonna
crate.
buy an extra
Over 11 and a half.
extra bottle. He's gonna buy an extra bottle just so he can hit the over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Which
sit
I
at,
rate.
I'm gonna sit at my over under. If you could bet on it on the gambling
You know what we should-
provider
you know
that
what
we
we should
go
do?
with, I'd go with 8.5. I
8.5.
reckon
Oh, I
that's
should get a
mine.
sheet, right? And we get a sheet of
I like
paper, put
this.
everyone's name on it,
Yeah.
and have like a column going down the middle with everyone's name, and like in the middle you have their name, and everyone's kind of consensus, or
What
they can decide what their over under is for the day,
Yeah.
and then you have to go through everyone, and you write your name on either the under or you write your name on the over of that
This is a
person.
great idea.
This is a
and
fantastic
see how
idea.
many you hit right out of
This is
And we all
amazing.
put money
Let's do
in,
that.
and
This
then
is
if
a
you
tackle
hit,
boss
you
first,
win.
ladies.
Yeah,
and
you
Is it a tackle boss first?
We came up with this first, and it's going to be a
You
brilliant
put,
idea.
everyone
Yeah.
chucks in $10,
It'll be
and
an
the
A3 sheet of
person that
paper.
got the most right for the over unders
Yes,
takes all
yes,
the money.
Yeah,
let's do
here we
it.
go.
Yeah.
Isaiah, do the graphic. Put it on the Instagram, Isaiah.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be a good one.
Cool. And to round out, earlier in the podcast, I said we should write a letter to the Roger Goodall
Okay.
about flexing the game. So, with the help of AI, because I don't really have time to write one myself, you can play the outro music over this.
I've started running it. I've got to wait till the words cut out, and then I can slide it back up.
Okay. Should I talk now?
Yeah, you can
Okay.
talk. You can talk.
Dear NFL Commissioner, I'm writing to express my concern about the current time slots for NFL games and urge the league to consider changing them. As a fan of the NFL, I found it increasingly difficult to follow my favourite teams and players due to current scheduling. Many of the games are played at inconvenient times and are inconvenient games to watch. This makes it difficult for fans to tune in and enjoy the action. In addition, current scheduling often pits teams against each other, which are dog shit. I believe that the NFL should explore alternatives time slots for its games, including flexing the bad teams.
Oh, that's the
That's the word.
That's the word.
The old
This would
switcheroo.
allow fans to watch more games without sacrificing their work, family obligations, and their mental fucking sanity. I understand that changing the current scheduling may require significant effort and investment, but I believe that it's worth it in the long run. The NFL is a beloved institution with a huge fan base, and it should do everything in its power to make its games as enjoyable as possible for all fans. Thank you for your consideration of this important matter. Yours sincerely, Tackle for Loss. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on other social media. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify. Grayson's better at the outro than me.
That's good enough for me. As always, boys, it's been Tackle for Loss.
Hey.
Boom, and then you hit right on the sound too.